What is up, everybody? It's your boy Age. We are live here on StreamYard after a border battle W. The Vikings head into Lambeau Field and get the win, 24-10. But everything feels bad because we just lost Kirk Cousins. So I'm doing this from the hotel room. So if you can hear the loud music in the background, I apologize. Not really a way to get around this, but yeah, this is just I feel awful right now. I don't even know how to feel. This is it, it's up. It's a massive blow. It almost feels like we lost today because no Kirk Cousins for the rest of the year. So we'll just get into it and we'll touch on that later on. But I mean, there was some good things and fun things about this game until the very end when the injury happened. So we'll hop into the stats here today, presented by Blank. Kirk Cousins, 23 of 31, 274 yards, 2 touchdowns, did take 2 sacks. Those 2 sacks happened at the very end of his day. And then Jaron Hall came in for relief, 3 of 4, 23 yards, did take a sack, did have a strip sack. So rushing department, meh. Same thing as always. 16 carries, 31 yards for Alexander Madison, 9 carries, 19 yards, and a tutty for Cam Akers. So that's all there is to speak of in the rushing department. And I got a bone to pick with KOC. Best believe there's going to be a rant later on in the show about this running back game. Receiving department looks pretty good today. So KJ Osborne, 8 catches, 99 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 6 catches, 88 yards, and a tutty. Jordan Addison, he just keeps being special. He is quite simply that dude. So Addison, 7 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Brandon Powell also had a catch for 10 yards, and everything is kind of irrelevant after that. Didn't really get to the quarterback too much. Had 7 quarterback hits total as a team. Only looks like, 4 sacks, which is weird because it doesn't even feel like it was that much. Josh Metellus had a sweet interception, stole it away from the wide receiver down the middle of the field. That was super sick. Should have had a kick return as well, but got called for a block in the back. So, yeah, on the other side, not really anything to talk about for the Packers. They didn't do anything special. That team is nothing special. So, we'll just get into it here. And, yeah, I mean, the game started out pretty well. The game started out great. You know, we were rolling. Get a 4th and 1. And then we decide to go kick the field goal instead of going for it. And we missed the field goal. So that was cool. My boy Dave, sad day for a win. Tell me about it, brother. I'm so hurt right now. But yeah, I mean, the Packers stay doing nothing. I mean, I think there was something that someone said earlier today. The Packers haven't scored a touchdown all year in the first half. And that's kind of what it looked like today. So punt, 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 and then a field goal on that last drive, which shouldn't have even been a field goal because we were offsides. They got to redo off the stoink, off the right upright for their kicker, Carlson. They get a redo. He bangs it through. So that was super cool. So Vikings, you know, some good drives, missed field goal, touchdown, field goal, punt. So, I mean, hey, you're doing something decent. We were moving the ball well. Come out third quarter, start slinging it. 13 play, 75-yard drive, finish it off with that Hawk touchdown, and then we get the interception, and then go right back at him with a touchdown to Addison. I mean, simply put, Addison has been brilliant this year. It's always tough when you take a wide receiver over why taking the best player available in these drafts is helpful. Because when you get the best available player, you can do whatever you want. This offense right now is humming. So, never felt this sad after a win. Me too, brother. And then my boy also said, Jordan Addison is Jair Alexander's daddy. Seems like everybody is Jair Alexander's daddy. I mean, Adam Thielen's owned him, Stephon Diggs has owned him, Justin Jefferson has owned him, and now Addison. So, is he good? I don't. Can Packers tell me if he's? Can Packer fans tell me if he's good? So, yeah. But then the Packers started to gain some momentum. They had a long drive, 81 yards, 5 minutes, go down, score. Some BS there. Then we get a blocked field goal. And that was the drive where Kirk Cousins ends up getting hurt, I believe. Yeah, Kirk Cousins ended up getting hurt. They block the field goal. They run that back, and it looks like, oh boy, here we go. But then they turn it over on downs, and that's how they finished the game. 3 turnovers on downs. They got close to the end zone, but they didn't sniff shit. So, I mean, watching that Packers offense, it's just bad. Like, the run game is not there. The wide receivers are dropping passes, running dumb routes. You kind of got to feel for Jordan Love. But as a Vikings fan, it feels great just to know that they're struggling and that they're not shit. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a good day overall. The offense was humming. The run game was a little bit complimentary, I guess, but not enough to seal the deal. And I just don't think it'll ever be competent enough. I mean, we're halfway through the year now, and haven't even put together a good or solid game with this running game. Like, it ain't gonna happen. My boy Cody said, "I'm off myself." I mean, me too, Cody. Kirk and his wife will get to spend some time together at least. Is that what you want to take out of this? That Kirk gets to spend more time with Julie? All right, now my boy brings this up. Dave says, okay, wild idea. Do we call Brady? You know, let's just hop into it there. So Kirk Cousins, we saw the video. It's been confirmed pretty much that he tore his Achilles. Same injury as Aaron Rodgers. And that's probably it for Kirk. I mean, that is it for Kirk for the rest of the year. And who knows? That could have been the last time that we saw Kirk Cousins in a Vikings uniform. I sure hope not, but hey, I mean, he's got a contract. You know, this is the last year that the deal goes for. He's certainly played himself. I mean, he has played himself into a good extension and a good pay raise, but do you take the gamble on a 30-some-year-old quarterback that just popped his Achilles? I don't know. Can you? So, man. But, I mean, the rumors are flying. Excuse me. The rumors are flying like crazy today. I mean, right after we got out the game, all the boys are talking about, you know, who could we get? Carson Wentz, Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill, blah, blah, blah. Someone said Brett Favre is going to – there's Tom Brady. I mean, I don't know. He's old. And he's the GOAT, but would he even want to come back and play for us? And how long would that take to get him worked in? I don't even want to entertain these fantasies. Right now, I'm so gut punched. It's just awful what happened. So, not really anything else to say. I mean, I feel great about the W. We beat the Packers, and we finally won by more than one score. Oh, my God. What a revelation. It took us, I mean, half a year to have a game either way, win or loss, go by more than one score. That just seems like it's KOC's MO going back to last year. The last time we won a game by more than one score was week 1 against the Packers. So maybe that's the secret formula. We just have to play the Packers every week in. Oh, you know, like we said, the offense was humming. The pass plays were there. Kirk was moving the ball well. Once Jaron Hall came in, didn't really look good, but I feel like in that moment, it's such a deflating thing to have happen where, you know, Kirk's coming limping off the sideline. He goes into the tent, hops on the cart right away. You know, how do you recover from that, especially late in the game, you know, when you're trying to put it away? And I think some of the play calling down the stretch in that moment when we lost Kirk Cousins was interesting too. You've got Jaron Hall, a rookie quarterback, in his first ever action in a regular season game on the road, and you're running play action bootlegs right with his back to the end zone. What are we doing? Like, run the ball, make them use timeouts. I don't care if the run game is not getting there. You need to get the clock going. And so I don't know, man. I just feel awful. Like, Kirk has been so durable, so reliable. And we all would have never thought that this could ever happen to him. Like, he's been the reliable guy. He's withstood every single hit that's back there. And then, of course, it takes just a freak incident like this for Kirk Cousins to get hurt and for us to lose him as our quarterback. So, I hope, and maybe things are good after this. Maybe Jaron Hall comes in and he's the next dude. We don't know. Work. But I know that moving forward for the rest of the season, the Kirk Cousins haters will learn that he was that dude for this team. Just simply put, like, he's the engine that makes this thing drive. We're really going to see what this offense is made of, what this run game is made of, everything from the rest of the year on out, because it's going to have to be, you always need a team effort to win games, but now it's going to be a full, complete team effort. The defense has been playing well. They've been playing with their hair on fire the last 2 weeks. They've played really well. Now you're going to have to ask them to do more. You're going to have to ask them to get teams off the field. You're going to have to ask them to turn over the ball even more, which is something that we've kind of struggled with, but we've come on with it the last couple of weeks. So can this defense keep doing what they're doing and rise to the top? And maybe, this looks like how it did back in 2017, where the defense carries us and the offense is just kind of there. But it seems like going into the year, it was the complete opposite. The offense was going to carry us, and the defense would figure it out. The defense is going to have to figure it out quickly. But today, I liked what I saw. Those guys were buzzing around. People were getting hits. We got some turnovers. So, great online, great offensive weapons, a rookie QB dream. And hey, it might take a couple of weeks for Jaron Hall to look sufficient, but this offense is really good. The offensive line is solid. We've been able to figure it out the last couple of weeks. Dalton Reisner coming in for Ezra Cleveland has certainly changed the complexion of this team for the better. Like I said, I think the run game is, and we'll get into my rant here, because what the hell are we doing with Cam Akers? Cam Akers plays the first half, scores a touchdown, you get him loose on a couple screens, and then he does nothing the second half. I don't even think I saw him go in for a snap in that entire second half. Like, what are we doing, KOC? You brought this guy in for a trade, you sent nothing for him, and then you're not using him? For what? Make that make sense, please. And I'm not trying to be a Madison hater. I'm really not. But I just don't know if he's it. Like, he's the complementary piece. Maybe it needs to be Akers that is the one and Madison that is the two. But for us to keep doing this and keep pushing it, I just don't get it. So, woof. I mean, honestly, it feels like we lost. I feel devastated right now. This shit sucks. Like, I do not feel great. And I had an amazing time at Lambeau. But once that happened, the mood just went from 100 to 0. It was awful. So I think what you have to go off of is this defense is looking a lot better. And the offense, despite everything around the quarterback, is pretty good. Jordan Addison, he's looked like the real deal. You got Hawkinson. KJ Osborne showed up in a big way today. So if we can keep putting together complimentary games and Jaron Hall can do enough, we can ride this thing out. We just got this thing to 4-4. If the Lions lose tomorrow, we're a game back. Even if they're not, we're still hot on their heels with 2 games in tow left to go at the end of the season. So, but, I mean, defense started to fall off a little bit in the second half. Any reason why? Says our boy Harrison on YouTube. Well, thank you, Harrison, for chiming in. I don't know. I feel like that's, a little bit of the Packers figuring it out and the defense maybe getting a little bit gassed. It seems like in that second half, they were on the field a lot more than they maybe should have been. And when you play a team like like the Packers, where Jordan Love, we saw it on a couple throws downfield today. He got out of the pocket, started doing his thing, started working a little bit of magic. When you go up against a guy like that, it can be kind of frustrating and it can wear you down when you thought you got him hemmed in, you thought you got him for a sack, and then he escapes and moves the chain. So, over the course of the game, I just think that they kind of lost maybe a little bit of steam, but they came through. They came through with a lot of pass deflections to turn the ball over. They came up with a sack late to put them back and not have anything happen and not make things easier than they need to be for the Packers. So, yeah, but I don't know. That Packers offense is goofy. Like, I didn't really watch their games, but that offense is goofy. I don't feel like they have any rhythm. Aaron Jones, the hell are we doing? Like, so, but yeah. Before we get out of here, we got to roll with our friends at Underdog Fantasy. We got to shout them out. We've been doing some work on Underdog. If y'all are not tapped in, I mean, it's been 8 weeks. I've been telling you, you're getting that deposit match. If you're not tapped in now, you never will be. But here we go. So Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game, just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player stats. And you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Guys, like, come on. Underdog keeps it super simple with their fantasy app and easy-to-use website. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and take home some cold hard cash. Use the code 10K and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog Fantasy. Once again, that's code 10K on the Underdog app, or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and click the link below to get your first deposit doubled on Underdog today. I know no one cares about other people's entries, and I was going to tweet this out, and I'm glad I didn't because you guys would have been pissed at me. But I got to pull up this entry here because it's going to devastate the hell out of me. Just like the Kirk Cousins injury did. So we had a 5-man pick'em for $200. Do 10 on it. We had Jordan Love lower, 16.5 fantasy points. KJ Osborne higher on the receptions. Josh Metellus higher on tackles and assists. And then Kirk Cousins higher on the passing yards. Thank God he cleared that before he came out. What really devastates me is Cam Akers. Took him on higher, 0.6.5 receiving yards on Underdog. He was 7.5 on other spots. Cam Akers had 6 receiving yards. So he got hooked out of $200 by half a yard. If he would have gotten 1 more yard, we would have been rich. We would have been rolling in the money. We would have been rolling in the deep. But instead, no dice. But that's just how it goes. I mean, that's why they call it gambling. So, So, yeah, honestly, just a tough day. And Lambeau Field was sweet. If you guys, Vikings fans, have not been out there yet, and you're the type of people that, like to go and travel to games, like to go and travel to different spots, Lambeau Field needs to be on your list because that place, despite it being the house of our rival, and maybe you think it's garbage, whatever, it's pretty sweet. And there's not any stadiums like that, not just even in the NFL, but in sports, where it's just a classic venue. It exists, and they've upkept it in all of its glory. It was super cool to be there. Pretty cold outside. Not too cold, but cold enough to where I regret not investing in some Long John underwear and maybe investing in a couple more layers because, I wore the hoodie, Jay, some warm pants, but sitting on those risers with no protection can really get to you. So my boy says high school bleacher ass stadium. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is bleachers. So we were at the very top of the bleachers, like walked right to the gate, first row right there. So we had a railing and all that stuff to our back, but up above us was like the new section of the stadium that they put in where it was the actual seats in that end zone. And it looks pretty sweet up there. So yeah, Lambeau Field, if you're a sports fan, that needs to be on your list. So hopefully I get out to the border battle next week. But, I mean, Vikings 24, Packers 10. And we finally get our first one, more than one score win of the year, but it just feels awful because now no Kirk Cousins. And I don't think that was ever a possibility that anybody would have thought of playing Vikings football. is that we would have to play without Kirk Cousins. So just, I mean, like I said, man, it feels like we lost. So, woof. But that's going to wrap it here for us on State of Skol. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully the audio quality wasn't too bad. I can tell the music is maybe died down a little bit, but man, these Packer fans, they love to party. So, they were going to throw some stuff in the mix. AJ Murphy here for State of Skol, signing off. Let's write this ship. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. We'll catch you later.